Welcome back to your future hand. My name is Julian Biggs. We are about to get into it. Bitcoin is just smashing 40K as we speak. Let's talk about it. What is going on? Why can I not hear the music? Maybe you guys can hear the music. Let's talk about it. Your future hand. We're just cracking 2 years here on your future hand, and Bitcoin is doing just what we told you it was, and we're now smashing on 40K. Are we going to keep going? What is the deal? And yeah, let's just get into it and have a look. I'm just trying to get my audio and some things set up here. Brand new to streaming live on YFH. We got 2 years of upload history, and we're starting to do some lives here. And we'll be coming into the new year and into the bull market, hopefully marketing this channel and starting to pick up the pace. We got good upload history and good content history. Our predictions have been pretty close. We've been pretty bang on, especially this year with the climb. We called the bottom, and we told you this thing was going to keep going. And people thought I was crazy when I said it wasn't going to go further than 15K. I literally called $15,400 bottom. We hit that in November, and it's been nothing but up since. And when I told everyone it was just going to keep going, they told me I was crazy. They told me I was crazy when I saw 15 as the floor. They told me I was crazy when I said this thing was going to keep going, and sure enough, this is what we're doing. So let's get into it. What's going on? We're just cracking this. We're just cracking 40,000. Well, we just hit a high of what the fuck? No, that's not possible. Come on now. Yeah, okay, that's better. We just hit a high of $40,334. So this is crazy. I mean, we came into this week and I was talking about how the SPX did an 80% recovery, and there's no reason that Bitcoin couldn't do an 80% recovery as well. We're right now seeing that happen. So here we've got the trend of 2022 right here, the bear trend, which is what I've got my fib on for retracement for this year, and we're just climbing over the 61.8% fib level right now at $40,000. So the fib is actually approximately around $39,000. So we're 1K over this fib level right now without a solid confirmation. So I'm going to look for this weekly to close here and act. And hopefully this 61.8% fib level acts as support, but we don't like to hope anything Bitcoin. This is why we change perspective week to week, day to day on what's going on. But right now this looks good. So we got 2 hours left, an hour and 15 minutes left of this 4-hour candle on Bitcoin Sunday. So we got the weekly close and the daily close coming here in about 2 hours, and we're now testing some pretty major resistance levels, the 61.8% fib level, as well as this trend line that we've got going here. So let's get zoomed into my other chart just so I can show you guys the patterns I've actually been trading the last couple of days. I know we don't like to talk about trading much, but if I'm going to live stream, it's probably going to end up being a bit what I talk about, because that's what I do day to day. So let's get zoomed in here. Let's just go have a look at the 4-hour. Get zoomed in real close. So this is the range that's been playing, and I've got these lines kind of scattered because I was actually playing the 30-minute chart. So let's just look at that. You can see how I played this today. So I play, like I said, I play with levels and RSI, and that's it. That's all. It's simple. It's easy. I go by candle closes. A solid body candle closes for entry points as well. So this to me was the perfect long entry that this thing was going to keep going. We did have this double top here. The little bearish divergence, and a lot of people thought, this is the short, and that was a good scalp short, okay? But I wanted to show that what happens here, and the reason that I knew this was going to go long again this afternoon, is that you get this bearish confirmation, the solid candle body top, you get this bearish confirmation here, but then inside of it we have this hidden bullish divergence in the wicks, right? So generally somebody would follow these candle closes like solid bodies here to see the top and bottoms of moves, but we got that hidden bullish divergence inside of the wicks there, kind of canceling out that bearish move, and sure enough, this thing just rocketed up to Now the highs change. I guess on the half hour it's saying difference of $40,210. So that's, we've been hitting 8s and 2s. So this is nice to see. We're on top of this resistance now. I'm going to make a confirmation here, hopefully with 30-minute. Maybe this thing falls down. It doesn't even matter at this point. If you've been DCAing with us here on your future hand, you're killing it. You're killing it this year. It's just been unreal. It's funny, actually. Let's go look at gold. Now that I'm doing lives, I can kind of just mess around and do whatever and share my point of view. But I like the look of this gold chart, and I'll tell you what I think about it in a second here. So here's the annual candles on the gold chart. So you can see that forever, since so as they started charting it, this actually has data going back to 1833, which is crazy. So, nothing really happened to gold for, 100 years, right? Yeah, 100 years exactly. So to 135 years, gold barely moved or did anything as people collected it, right? But you can see that now, just as Bitcoin's been doing, we've been getting these big cup and handles all year long. We've been seeing these big cup and handles play out, right? And generally these lead to big breakouts. Now, this is the annual chart for gold. This is the annual chart for gold. So this cup and handle confirming as a breakout here is the potential for this thing to move up for the next few years. And Marty and I had this conversation 6 months ago, or maybe even a year ago, something like that, and how we thought gold was done. And I do believe that gold is done too. But the thing is that we've got, boomers and people who have been investing in gold for so long, people who don't believe in Bitcoin, who are going to take some time to transfer over and get used to this digital world, even though all your shares in gold are fucking digital IOUs as well, which doesn't even make sense. So, like I said, this thing has the potential to push up for another 5 or 10 years as Bitcoin gains more traction based on the failure of the dollar, right? So they tell you recession's coming, they tell you, depression's coming, all these things, but the reality is we just had them increase rates for 2 years, right? So we just saw them trying to correct inflation after them screwing us over in the 2020 market. And if I show the SPX, so the S&P 500 in the States, we can really see how bad that was, right? So if we look at the history of the SPX, again, this is something that just kind of climbs slow and up and to the right. And if you dollar cost average into this like the big players, then you do well and you make a ton of money. And that's how you do it. You don't have to invest 10 grand or all your life savings or whatever it may be. It's just dollar cost average. And if you're always buying, you can always be selling, and you're always ahead of inflation. That is the whole point of these things, and why these particular markets have climbed slow in comparison to Bitcoin, because there's never been anything like Bitcoin. And because it's deflationary, it's seeing a much faster and larger growth curve than any of these markets. So what I see here, I'm looking at the annual candles again. I'm looking at this thing now turning into a bull flag. So we just had the cycle crash here in 2008, 2009. That was kind of the housing bubble, and then whatever little minor thing here, 2015, I guess that was kind of following the that would have been the euro crash, 2012, 2013. The euro really had some problems before it kind of made its climb for another 10-year cycle. So generally we see these 10-year cycles, and now we've just had a kind of a curb inflation. We've had a couple of years of really strong profits in the market, and now we've had this kind of cool-off period. But to me now, even on the SPX, this looks like a bull flag. So we can see this coming up here. Long bull flag potentially playing out. That looks like a dinosaur or some shit, but anyway, we got this Joey Nemeth, nice background check. Oh yeah. I just put together a loop. This is actually 30 minutes of my own tunes. I'll probably just do that so we don't get no copyright things. I'll just make loops of my own tunes, because that's originally what Marty and I did with Studio Time, was just jam around and make music. So now we've realized there's more value in Bitcoin, even though we love music, don't get me wrong. But anyway, so now we've got this bullish flag, in my opinion, playing out on the SPX, and this is the thing that's kind of steered my opinions in Bitcoin, and the reason I thought we could come back up to this 80% fib retracement level of Bitcoin on its annual candles, which is another $10,000, right? So if we come up to around the same height, but it's unlikely that we exceed these candle wicks here too much right now. But 48K, 45 to 48K, I could see that before the end of the year, which would be great to see. So let's I just got getting used to live streams here and getting distracted, but I guess it doesn't matter if you can hear music. All right, let's go back into the 4 hour. What's going on here? What is going on here? And here's on my fib chart, not my pattern chart either, but you can see we've got these trend lines from the year, and I don't, I draw my channels a little bit differently. You can see these big sections are the ones that bear traps, as they would call them, or everyone goes telling you that this whole year 2023 was going to be a bull trap, but you can see that there's much more buying pressure than there is selling pressure this year. So we have a little bit of selling pressure in here. This was a couple of little bear traps, this nice big uneven, whatever you want to call it, just a double bottom here. That's what we want to see for a market reversal. And then we got back up into this channel, and you can see here another bull trap came down, cooled off. That's just letting the RSI and some of the indicators cool off so we can get moving back up again. But after a year-long bear trend like that, it was a painful 80% downtrend or whatever it was for Bitcoin there. Maybe not quite that much for the SPX, but for Bitcoin, it was painful. And I'm not sure what it's like in the States, but here in Canada, we got 40% of the Royal Bank of Canada mortgages coming up for renewal. So if we have 40% of mortgages coming for renewal, and we have 7.5% or 7.25% interest rates, and we've curbed inflation by say 3-4% over the last 18 months or whatever it is, they're going to have to let off interest rates, or people are just going to be out of their homes, and they're not going to be able to renew their mortgages. It's not enough, So I really feel like the rates are going to be coming off here pretty quick. And with the indicators topping out, to me, it just seems like the narrative, everything they've done over the last couple of years, it lines up perfectly with the halving for Bitcoin. And we're going to see this thing go up for the next 18 months or so, just grab on DCA. And yeah, you know what, if it cools off here, even if it cools off into the bottom of this channel and hits the 33K, which I really honestly hope that we see 33K again. 33K, would give you an opportunity to get some lower prices, but really right now, it doesn't matter. If you can grab it underneath $40,000 in the next couple of years, you're going to be laughing. And even if you, if we said, even if you had bought it from the $70,000 top, if you dollar cost average, even if you bought the day it hit $69,000 and you continued to dollar cost average into Bitcoin since then, you would still be in nice profits right now. $40,111. And like I said, that next fib level, 78.6% fib level, is coming in at $50,111. And I do believe we can get there. But if it comes crashing down to 33, because I do think we could see 33 again, no problem. I'm going to be happy about that too, because honestly, the only regret that I ever have with any of this stuff is not buying more. It's pretty soon. This is kind of what we've been waiting for here, is the recovery for this year, and then see where it's going to bottom out again before the halving. We do have to reset some of these indicators. If we look here on the 4 hour, we're obviously getting maxed out. If we look here on the daily RSI, you can see we're just taking 70% again. So this to me says we're good for a breakout this week, and I'm targeting, like I said, 85% on the weekly RSI. So we're just cracking 70 here, cracking a resistance line here on the on the daily RSI. So it does look good for a run into this week if we don't get rejected here right away at 40K. And again, here is the weekly RSI. You can see how high we can take it. Bull run high is 95% on the RSI, and we did come in here on a really nice gradual slope. This is a strong trend above 70% RSI and has the potential, to come up quite a ways before dumping on us and getting these things reset before the halving. So the weekly, like I said, is kind of the one that I'm watching now, because I do feel like the weekly RSI is going to be the one that has to reset. It's a larger time frame. It can't spend, unless it just honestly just turns and goes straight up here, which would be just insane. And that would be the super cycle that Marty and I are talking about. And it's just going to keep on running. But monthly RSI is just taking 60%. So, this thing has a chance to hit 70%. But, I honestly think it's going to take quite a bit longer than that. So if we see this crash, we see the weekly spike up, take, the 80, 90%, and then we'll see this thing retest 60, and then head up into the bull run is what I feel. If we can keep this nice strong trend, a nice low sloping trend on the monthly RSI, then we're going to have a beautiful couple of years here, because they got no choice but to lower rates and start printing money in again. And as soon as they start lowering the rate of debt interest, these markets, they go up. That's what they do. That's what they've always done. That's what they're always going to do. But the only thing now is that these inflationary markets are going to be trumped by deflationary markets, and that's Bitcoin and crypto. So there's another stream in the books. Another market scope was done for y'all, even though I didn't really get my timing on the market scope right for you. There it was, little market scope there. And hang in there, and we will catch you in the next one. Biggs and Boggs.